So altcoins getting a small little bid here this Saturday. Bitcoin, Ethereum looks like it's taking a break for the weekend. So we'll look at Bitcoin, we'll look at Ethereum, we'll look at Solana, we'll look at the big three. We'll talk about what's driving markets, what markets are looking forward to in the coming month to get a pump. What I think is going to happen and how I think Q4 is going to play out. My thesis is still that we get possibly another run up going into the end of August, the beginning of September. We may get some sort of a sideways to down action. And then going into the top of Q4, I think we'll get our last, maybe not our last rally, but one of our strongest rallies that we'll have this cycle. So without further ado, let's jump into the short term right now. Like I said, some altcoins are getting a small bid and some are getting a pretty nice bid. OKB is up 15%, 15.5% on the day. XMR Monero, which has been hammered over the past few weeks, is getting a small little pump coming in at 6.5%. MNT is at 9.4%. IOTA 6.7. Pingu is at 3.5. So you see a lot of green over the past few hours. So these are the daily, or this is the daily bubbles. Over the past week, you can see that a lot of coins are down. Most of the coins are down in the top 100. We're looking at the top 100. OKB is up 127%. MNT, like we talked about over the past hour, was up. It's up on the week as well. So there is opportunity. That's one thing. A lot of people, you'll get on X, you'll get on wherever you go to talk about crypto. And a lot of people are down. A lot of people are said this is over. This is can't make any money right now. It's always opportunity in crypto, even in a bear market, which we are not in. But there's always opportunity in a crypto market, and it's 24/7. So you can always find something. You just have to be careful. Different market conditions require different market analysis and different market reactions. We're reactive traders. We're not going in there trying to predict the future. We react, and then we let the market tell us what it wants us to do. So let's jump into what we're looking at for Bitcoin and Ethereum. First and foremost, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is coming in at 117,752. 117,752. And this is what we've been looking at. Like, we don't have to keep over analyzing the market. We don't have to keep saying the same things, repeating the same things over and over. Same rules have been applying. Maybe I have it on my different chart. Let's see this chart here. So we can look at this chart here. I got all three charts pretty much the same. Same rules apply. So what we're looking at right here is bottom side of our range coming in at about 116.3. Top side of our range is that $120,000 mark that we keep seeming to have trouble holding. So we want to continue to watch this range, 116 to 120. That's basically what we'll say. Right now, Bitcoin did get up to a new all-time high of 124.5K. And then we had a nice drawdown coming to a low of about 116.8K. So we will see how the week closes. If we go to the daily, we can see, look at this huge red candle. This is not good. I don't like this. I don't like to see this. What I talked about in the community, what I talked about to the cool kids over in the Telegram, make sure you guys come over there to the free Telegram. I said I wanted to close a weekly above this $120,000 level. I want to, first of all, of course, we can start closing a few days, couple days here and there. Consecutive days, but then I ultimately want to close a weekly above this $120,000 area, and that will give us room to run higher. That will give us room to get to my target coming in at about, maybe I thought we were going to get to about 125 to 130, get a nice pullback, and then ultimately in the Q4, going into Q4, get some type of massive rally. I don't have a Bitcoin price prediction. I think we're probably going to go. So I was talking to somebody on X. I don't like to give predictions, but I was saying this bear market, if we get a nice bear market, well, not nice, but a bear market, I think we're going to probably drop 50 to 60%, not 80%, not 90%. I think we're going to come down to about 50 to 60%. And that would, then people ask me like, what price is that? What price is that? I'm like, it depends on how high we go. How high are we going to go? So if we go to 150, 160, 50% of that is like 80, 90K. So that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good in my opinion. Hopefully we don't go too far down, but hopefully we do go further up. So if we do get some sort of 50 to 60% drawdown, it won't be in those, we won't I don't want to break 90K, 80 to 90K. Let's just say that 75 to 90K. I want to stay in that region, for the bear market if we seem to get some sort of a massive rollover in Bitcoin after we get another pump. I think we do have another pump coming, a massive pump. So back to the right now, Bitcoin. I just want to hold this. It's not really too much to continue to talk about. Maybe we come back down to range lows at about 116.3, hold this midpoint, get back up here for one last rally going into the end of August. Then we curl over, or possibly we just go sideways to down, maybe come back down to 112, which is another pivotal level that I want to hold, possibly get into a range of 112 to 116, maybe a swing failure pattern below, but ultimately, possibly, we just do some sort of a bounce in between this one, we'll say 110, really 100, excuse me, 112K is really what I want to get specific, even though we can't ever predict a specific price point. But, somewhere between 110, 112 up to this 116 mark is what I would probably want to see. Let's move this right here. What I would want to see for a rollover, semi-rollover going into the end of Q3 into Q4. Let's talk about Ethereum next. So Ethereum had a nice run. And what I've been looking at for Ethereum, also XRP and Solana have had some great trend lines that we've been following. But right now for Ethereum, we just been following this trend line all the way from 3,300. 3,300 came up, bounced, came up, bounced, came up, finally came back down, bounced, and we have this horizontal support coming in at about 43.50. So I want to continue to hold this. If we lose this going into the weekly close or weekly open, I'll say we come down to 4,100. I'll look for a significant bounce, possibly coming back to this $4,400 level. But I really want to hold this $4,400 level, give or take, at this upward sloping trend line, at this horizontal support level that we have. Ethereum had a nice move. This is actually a what? So when we bottomed out here at the beginning of August, so in a couple of weeks, we've been up 43%, basically around 45, 43, 44, 45%, depending on where you are, what exchange you're looking at. So I still think Ethereum is strong. This is on the daily. So this is a clear uptrend on the daily. What I don't want to do, and this is just basic price action, basic market structure, is start to take out these lows here. I don't want to take out these lows here. So even if we lose this $4,400 level, I don't want to take out this low coming in at 41 and a half. $100. We start losing that now, now we're forming a downtrend. And this is what I don't want to do. This is what I don't want to see. I don't think we're going down this far again, no time soon. Hopefully not this year, the rest of the year. Hopefully we can hold this. This is what I really want to hold. I really want to hold this 4K level. I think 4,000 is a big psychological level. And it's also, as you see here, a big technical level coming in around 39. The 4,000, 4K. So I really want to hold this 4K level, but we'll just take it a day at a time. We're not going to front run anything. We're not going to predict anything. We do have history that shows, that the end of September or the end of August going into September has been pretty bearish. And then we get another pump going into the end. So if it does play out, hopefully it doesn't play out to where we go down here, because then we'll need more boosters to get back up to here where we want to get. We want to get to 6, 7, 8K. That's my base case for Ethereum. So we don't want to come all the way back down here in order to try to get back up here. What we want to do is we want to try to hold this, and create another structure, hold that all-time high, or that, all-time high to be coming in at the all-time high. Then we don't have to have as much boosters to get to those 6, 7, 8, 9,000. I don't think we're going to 9 or 10K. I don't, who knows how the market can get, who knows how much the sentiment can change. A lot of companies, a lot of big entities are starting to accumulate Ethereum. So I won't even try to put a price prediction, because once the big players get in, once the big players start to set their sights on an asset, who knows how high it could go. So I just want to hold, really around 38 to 4K. So if we do get some sort of a massive run going into the tail end of the year, we don't have to have as much power to get up to my levels, coming anywhere between, I say, 6 to 8,000, anywhere up here between 6 to 8,000 is where I would want to get for Ethereum. Solana, really quick. Solana has been holding. We talked about breaking out of this bull flag. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Broke out, came down, used this as support coming in at 175. So we have 175. We have our key support resistance level at 185 and our massive resistance level that's been coming in at about 205. So it's just basically taking the steps, baby steps, baby steps. We're holding 175. We're holding 185. Even with the market still looking a little bit, we're not looking bearish because we're in an uptrend on Bitcoin. A lot of these coins are still in uptrends on the daily time frame, but it is looking a little suspect. So we want to just continue to watch what happens with Bitcoin, watch what happens with Ethereum, and then we can kind of gauge what's going to happen with the overall market. Of course, we're going to have our outliers, but if we could just hold this. And even if we can just hold 175, even if we can just hold 175 and maybe go sideways, 185, 175, we can range trade that if we can continue to hold that. 175, 185, get back above here when the market starts to turn full bull, really get back above this 205 level. Once we can get back above this 205 level, you see my big yellow arrow. I'm thinking we're going past all-time highs somewhere between 300 and 350. For Solana, I think once all eyes get off Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think Solana XRP will be the next trade. But I think Solana will definitely be the next trade coming after Solana, or after people are done with Ethereum. Like, not done forever, but sometimes it goes in cycles. You get your Bitcoin push, you get the Ethereum push, and I think next will be like Solana or XRP. But I'm betting on Solana to get a nice push. We keep talking about this, and we're just going to be prepared. So we keep talking about it, keep reiterating it. So when it does happen, which I'm very, very positive that it will happen, we can catch this move. We'll have a little bit of resistance coming in around 260 to 270. But ultimately, I think once we get back above this 300, who knows, I'll start taking profits. If I get a trade, let's say I get a trade started somewhere around here, if the market is very frothy, I'm starting to take profits around, I say 280, 290. Hold a little moon bag, or maybe half, maybe 30, 25%. Keep going up. We can go up to 350. Who knows how high we can go? It just depends on the market. It depends on how frothy, how the sentiment is, how high Bitcoin goes in order to spill over to these altcoins. So if the higher Bitcoin goes, I think the higher these higher cap coins will go once the cup runneth over, as they say, from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Solana to XRP, things like that. XRP, I actually want to talk about. I want to have a dedicated video talking about XRP, so we're going to leave XRP just quickly. We can just go over some of the areas that I'm looking at, and then we'll make a whole dedicated, because the XRP army loves when I make dedicated XRP videos, so we'll make a dedicated one. So just $3. We just really want to hold $3. I mean, we've been wicking down, coming down from 290, 280, but really $3. $3. Once we can get back above, we're kind of just ranging $3 to $3.30, $3 to $3.30. So if you're range trading this, you've been doing fairly well, been doing pretty well. You want to flip that $3.30, $3.35, get back above this $3.64, $3.65 level. Once we start cracking that $3.70 level, let me get my drawing tool back. Who knows? Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for XRP. Sky's the limit for XRP. I have a prediction, depending on, not really a prediction, but I want to get somewhere. I actually want to get somewhere between $5 to $8, $5 to $8, and that's not even a 2x. A 2x would be what, $6? So I'll say six. We'll say 6 to 10. It's a huge range. But like I said, it all depends. It's all predicated on how high Bitcoin can go. So we want Bitcoin to go higher. We really want Bitcoin to go higher. I don't want to see this. Let's zoom out to the weekly. This is Bitcoin dominance. I don't want Bitcoin to break down right now. I'm just going to be honest with you right now. Well, Bitcoin dominance to break down here. I want Bitcoin dominance to go up. I want Bitcoin to go up. I want Bitcoin dominance to go up as Bitcoin goes up, not as Bitcoin goes down. But if Bitcoin continues to not have the baton, I think that's what it is, we're not going to see a major altcoin season. It's really just that simple. We want Bitcoin dominance to get back in it. And I'm just telling you, for the sake of your altcoin season. We want this to happen. We want to break back above this 60%, 66.5%. We want to break back above this 62.5%. We want to get back in this range. I'm telling you, it might not happen, but I think this is the best path to altcoin season. We want to come at least start to get close to, let's connect that, to hitting our head somewhere in here. Even if, let's see, September, let's say we start getting a push to the beginning of September. If we can get somewhere in this area, I'll say 68 to 70%. Oh, that would be amazing. Even 65%. Well, what's this? 66, somewhere up in here. I think just in this range. Let's just say that if we can get back in this range, I think we can at least start to take out this high here. This high is coming in at 66, somewhere between 67 and 69, 68, 69%. Then what? Then we get a rollover. That's what we would want to see. No matter how high we go, I want to get back in this range here. I want to get back in this trend here, rather, because this trend, let's make this a little bit bigger. This is the trend that we've been following ever since the FTX collapse. Ever since the FTX collapsed. And this started at the end of 2022. So like I said, what I want to see and what I think would be the best path, I just hit myself in the face, to altcoin season would be getting back above this 62, getting back in this trend here. We want to get back in here. We don't necessarily have to go back to the range high of the trend or the channel. I just want to get back in it. Have some sort of massive run up with Bitcoin, maybe 150, 160, 170. Who knows how high we can go. Then we roll over. I don't want to see us just roll over here. Cycle dead. Cycle be over. This is not high enough. This is not good enough for me. I don't think so. I may be wrong. I'm just a dude from Detroit who did his homework. I want to get back in this range, like I said, back in this channel, then roll over, starting at once we get a nice move going into October, possibly mid-October, then we spilleth over going into like mid-November, December, going into possibly even Q1 of next year, and then we get altcoin season. So we can't really time it. That's the hard part about being in crypto. You can't really time it. A lot of times it's just best to buy and hold and think long term. But me, I'm in it to make quick gains. I'm in it to make long-term gains. But right now with the where we are in the cycle, if you believe in the 4-year cycle, if you believe in everything, the crypto cycle, then we're at the tail end. This is the fourth quarter. We're going into the fourth quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. So we want Bitcoin to have one more strong push. Then we want the rollover into altcoin season so we can have a massive altcoin season lasting, hopefully like 3-4 weeks. Then we have some sort of bear market, if we even get a bear market. A lot of people saying we're not getting a bear market. A lot of people saying we're going to go into a super cycle. When so many people start saying that, I get a little bit nervous. So that's just my analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, a little bit of XRP. We'll make a dedicated video on Bitcoin dominance. Appreciate everybody for watching. It was a little extended video. I haven't made a video in a couple days. We had a lot of sick kids around here. My wife got a little bit sick too, and I've been doing other things. So we got a little tad bit busy, but we're going to knock it out the rest of the weekend. We got some good videos coming out this weekend. The Telegram will be popping off as well going into next week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing in advance, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Peace.